Yo, what's up Guardians? It is Novers and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, the Edge of Fate has finally launched, and with it came a really strong hand cannon post-campaign called Graviton Spike. Now, this has a very unique perk that allows you to swap between Arc and Stasis modes that have their own super cool abilities. The perk is called Temporal Manipulation, which reads, reload press to swap between fast-firing Arc mode or slow-firing Stasis mode. Final blows and precision hits overcharge the opposing mode to enable additional effects. It also by default comes with Chambered Compensator and Alloy Magazine. It has a trait called Temporal Anomaly, which reads, while overcharged, each mode expends a portion of overcharge for additional effects on final blows or precision hits. Arc mode calls down lightning strikes, and Stasis mode creates an explosion and a formation of stasis crystals. It also comes with Textured Grip as the default grip for the weapon. So there are catalysts for Graviton Spike, however, I do not have access to them yet, so as soon as I do, I will be sure to review them for you. Now, let's get into some details about the weapon. Now, the first one is 3 precision hits or 3 kills will overcharge the Arc and Stasis modes. This is super good if you're using this for damage, for example, because if you are getting all precision hits on the boss, 3 hits is going to allow you to overcharge the opposite element. So for example, if you are on the Arc variant of the weapon and you get 3 precision hits, it will Stasis overcharge, which you can then hold reload and swap to your Stasis mode, get 3 precision hits, and swap back to your Arc mode. The cool thing about this is the Stasis mode, as I mentioned, will spawn the Stasis crystals, and the Arc mode will shoot down sort of like a bolt charge / lightning strike, cloud strike ability, which will then shatter the Stasis crystals and give you a little bit of extra damage on the enemies. This is also really fun to use because you don't have to reload the weapon in a traditional fashion very often. Now, I will say this weapon absolutely shines on level and slightly under level content. However, we haven't really tested it much in the under-leveled content, like the high-end in-game content, so we'll have to see how that performs later on. And this is the first exotic hand cannon we've had since Hawkmoon 5 years ago, which is honestly pretty crazy, and I think this is going to be a pretty decent option. I just don't really see myself using this over Sunshot. I could be wrong though. I could end up using this, who knows. It's very dependent on how good the catalysts are, and also some builds that I will be making with this weapon could change my mind. But again, I really like the interaction between the Stasis and Arc mode. I think it's a really fun gameplay loop. Now, if you use the Whisper of Fissures or Facet of Ruin fragments on Stasis and Prismatic with this weapon, it allows you to increase the shatter size and damage of the Stasis crystals and the frozen targets with the weapon. Now, there are a couple of artifact perks that I really like using with this weapon to make it even stronger. And the first one is Fever and Chill. Rapid precision hits with Stasis weapons grant Frost Armor. Now, yes, as the weapon does utilize precision damage a lot to proc the Arc overcharge, in Stasis mode, you will be proccing Frost Armor, which is great damage resistance. Now, this works with the Frigid Glare artifact perk. While Frost Armor is active, Stasis precision final blows cause combatants to release a freezing burst. So not only will you be getting the Stasis overcharge, which will spawn crystals all around them, but they will also be shooting out a freezing burst, which will freeze the enemies and stack with the crystals, which will give you even more shatter damage. So this is going to be really strong with some Stasis builds that I'll be cooking up. Now, I will say that the Arc overcharge, bolt charge / lightning strike mode does not actually count as a bolt charge or ability, so you're not going to be able to proc bolt charge or anything else using the Arc mode. However, the Stasis mode does count as an ability damage whenever you shatter the enemies and also whenever you break the Stasis crystals, which is going to be really good for build crafting. Now, the really cool thing about this weapon that feels good is the Arc version of the weapon fires at 150 RPM, just like Sunshot. It feels really good. However, the Stasis mode fires a lot slower, but packs a slightly bigger punch. I just don't really like how the Stasis one feels in-game / underlevel content. But again, speccing into Stasis builds and Prismatic builds with the Stasis mode would definitely make it feel a lot stronger, so I'm not going to judge it there. So in terms of the gameplay loop, you're going to try to get precision hits as much as possible because 3 of those precision hits will allow you to overcharge the opposite element mode of the weapon. So you're going to want to try to get as many as possible. If you can get all precision hits, if you're a god, absolute legend, you can get this weapon to its full potential. However, I'm bad. So I'm not going to be able to do that very often, but I'm sure you can. Overall, Graviton Spike is a really unique and fun hand cannon that I'm going to have to mess around with over time and see if I can get it to work with some cool builds and try out unique interactions. If you enjoyed today's video, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on the post notifications so you don't miss any future Destiny 2 Edge of Fate content, and also leaving a like on the video and commenting what videos you'd like to see next. If you made it to this point in the video, comment Edge. We will also be giving away a few emblem codes throughout the week for the All That emblem over on my Twitch stream if you'd like to check it out. The link will be in the description. Anyways, Guardians, have a great rest of your day, and peace.